Today's hymn, Blest Be the Tie that Binds. John Fawcett was born on January 6, 1740. He grew up in a poor family in Yorkshire, England. Orphaned at 12, John was bound out to a tailor in Bradford, where he worked long hours. He learned to read and eventually mastered Pilgrim's Progress, the devotional classic by John Bunyan. John was converted at age 16 under the ministry of George Whitefield. The evangelist passed through Bradford in 1755 and spoke from John 3:14. John later recalled, "As long as life remains, I shall remember both the text and the sermon." He first joined the Methodists, but 3 years later began attending the Baptist church in Bradford, England. Upon telling Whitefield he wanted to preach, the evangelist gave John his blessing. John was ordained a Baptist minister at the age 25 and was asked to serve as the pastor of a small church in Wainsgate, Yorkshire. The people of Wainsgate were poor farmers and shepherds, an uncouth lot whose speech one could hardly understand, unable to read or write. Most of them were pagans, cursed with vice and ignorance and wild tempers. John and his wife Mary began their ministry by engaging families house to house and built a congregation that grew to the point that a galley had to be added to the modest meeting house. The members of the congregation were not able to pay much, and most of what John received as wages came in the form of wool, potatoes, or other produce. When John and Mary began having children, they found it difficult to make ends meet. After serving at Wainsgate for 7 years, his reputation as a preacher grew to the extent that he was invited to substitute for an ailing pastor, Dr. John Gill, at Carter Lane Baptist Church in London. Upon Gill's death, John was offered the position. The church was a very large and prestigious church in London that would be able to provide him a much larger salary. The Fawcett family packed up their household belongings and prepared to move. The day came and the congregation was in tears as John and Mary prepared to leave. Mary said to her husband, "I can't stand it, John. I know not how to go." And John responded, "Lord, help me, Mary, nor can I stand it. We will unload the wagon." And John said to the crowd gathered around them, "We've changed our minds. We are going to stay." John and Mary unpacked the wagon and let the church in London know that they would not be accepting the position. John then wrote this hymn to express his thoughts to the poor people with whom they had chosen to live and serve. The following Sunday, after their decision to remain at Wainsgate, John preached from Luke 12:15. "A man's life consists not in the abundance of the things he possesses." He closed his sermon by reading the text of his new song, "Blest Be the Tie that Binds." John was the author of a number of religious poetry works, several of which attained a large circulation. Among John's noteworthy writings was an essay titled "Anger." It became a favourite of King George III. It is said that the king offered John any gift or favour he desired, but John declined the offer with this statement: "I have lived among my own people, enjoying their love. God has blessed my labours among them, and I need nothing which even a king could supply." Such was the heart and soul of the man who wrote those loving words. John and Mary continued their ministry at Wainsgate for 54 years, until July 25th, 1817, when John Fawcett, at the age of 77, passed from this life to the glory that awaited him in heaven. Thank you.
Blessed be the tie